Hello, good evening, everyone. This is Sandeep Bose, motivation speaker and communication trainer. As you know, those who are watching us from YouTube channel Sandeep Bose Motivation Speaker, and those of you are watching us from Sandeep English Academy channel on Facebook, I welcome you all. And before I introduce my guest, I have to make few announcements. It's been 2 months since we have started this podcast, and this is our 10th episode. And I'm very grateful that in our 10th episode, we have someone with whom I have connected really well, and she helped me to, heal myself naturally as well. So we'll talk about more. But before that, I'd like to thank all the subscribers. It's been 2 months, but within 2 months, so many people subscribed to my channel on YouTube. I would like to thank all of you. You are a very integral part of this mission which I am doing currently, and for all the positive feedbacks and whatever negative criticism you have bestowed upon us, our channels, and I've seen people who are really motivating. So thank you so much. Without your support, it it should not be possible. So stay tuned and watch our episodes. And I am planning to bring some more great people out there who can inspire you, motivate you, and get you up and running. So actually, we are going through unprecedented times, difficult times. So today we have someone with whom I met in my post-COVID recovery phase. So she herself was diagnosed with COVID. She has recovered really well, and I met with her in LinkedIn, and I approached her about our podcast, and she agreed without any hesitation. So, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome our guest for the evening, Devika Biswas. She's a well-renowned transformation life coach. Devika, welcome to the Passion Podcast. This is the 10th episode we are doing. And how you are feeling after your recovery from COVID?
Thank you so much, Sandeep, for the invitation. Hello and welcome, and good evening to all the guests who are here.
Right.
I'm feeling really very, very well. It's been about a month now. I was diagnosed in the end weeks of April, around the last week of April. But I had very mild symptoms. However, little fever, a little sore throat. Um, but what actually kept me going is that I refused to give up. I did not want to have that feeling into me that I am really sick. So I tried my best. I kept up to a very clean and good diet, movement, a lot of recovery, rest, minimal amount of medication, because I have never believed in consuming a lot of medication. I have always believed in going the natural way. So eating good vegetables, eating good fruits, staying in a very good atmosphere, keeping your mindset very clear. I've always believed in things like that. So that actually helped me in recovering very fast, to be very honest. And it took me about 14, 15 days. And after that, I got back to exercises and moving around, and getting back to work and getting back to normal routine. So everything is good right now.
Very good. And whatever you have said me, I have implemented that in my life also, and I'm already getting the results. So thank you for your support and guidance.
I can
We
I can see that from the last conversation, you're smiling pretty good also now. So yes, I can see that.
Thank you so much. So as I told my viewers that Devika is working as a transformation life coach, and she has his own foundation or her company, which is known as what is the name of your
Devika,
company, Devika?
it is
Devika
Devika
Vishwas.
Biswas.
It's
That's
with your name,
and
right? Right. But you have been to different industries, and first of all, you pursued your study from Salt Lake Kendriya Vidyalaya, right? And then
Correct.
you went to Delhi to pursue your higher studies, and you have completed your graduation, which is communicative
Right.
English and psychology, right?
Right. Right.
And then you completed your masters as well from Delhi University on in
Right.
psychology.
In
So,
psychology, yes.
is there any specific reason why you choose psychology as your major?
Um, The reason why I chose psychology is because the human mind has always interested me. I have always been very curious about certain behaviors and the way people are around other
Mhm.
people, and what are they behind that. The different kinds of personalities that they portray with different situations. What brings that into them? What brings about them? Then, what is the role of emotions in psychology? How an important role it plays in there. So, from a very young age, people's minds, really kept me very curious about what could be happening behind minds. So, I decided when I was doing my bachelor's in communicative English, and I have always been somebody who is a very vocal person, and somebody who's very communicative about everything. So I thought, why not to use the psychology to use psychology as a platform to bring about um, a recognition to people's emotions as well, because I saw a lot of troubled human beings also, a lot of troubled people who really fought hard to speak out, to express emotions, the most simplest of emotions they could not express because they had something holding them back. So I wanted to bring them that confidence that they could speak out. So for me, this played a huge role. And that is why I decided to go ahead with this and to help individuals, groups, and all these people who really want to come out of their shell and speak. Um, because of certain things that they don't do. I wanted to bring about a change in that. And that is why I chose psychology, and I chose a specific specialization in that, and I chose emotions. Because people talk about everything else, but they don't want to talk about emotions. So I wanted to do that.
Right, great. So, could you please tell us, our viewers, about your upbringing? You definitely were born and brought up in Kolkata, if I'm not wrong.
No, 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 no. I am actually born and brought up in New Delhi itself because my
Okay,
father is in the civil defense. He was working in the civil defense.
okay.
And because he had a job that was very transferable, and he had to spend a lot of hours at the office and in the field. So I was born and brought up there. I was also partially raised in Nepal because my father had, since he had a transferable job, so my mother had to take us around places. So being from a military background, I was raised in a very strict environment, very, very disciplined environment where we were taught to be extremely self dependent from a very young age, right from, polishing shoes to
Right.
um, getting your bags done to ironing your own clothes, to
Hmm.
all things. My mother has been a professor in Kendriya Vidyalaya as well. She was a teacher in schools before, in convent schools, and when we shifted to Calcutta, she continued doing that. Uh, so both my parents, were disciplinarians. So they followed a lot of strict guidelines, and both me and my siblings, we were raised practically in the same way, where our mindsets were developed in such a way that we were brought up with a lot of confidence, and we were encouraged to speak out. We were encouraged to do whatever we wanted to, even
Right.
in the same way as a profession, selecting what you want to do in life. We were
Hmm.
given full freedom to select whatever we wanted to do. However, make the right choice for you.
Right. Right. So, did you have any thought of becoming an army officer? Some, because of you have seen your father,
Absolutely.
or an army officer himself.
Yes,
Did
I
that
did.
thought came into your mind sometime in the childhood?
Um, when I used to see my father, and I used to hear a lot of stories that he would share. Um,
Hmm.
Very selective stories because he was not allowed to speak out a lot about the defense services.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
Obviously, he's under oath. And when my father used to speak out certain stories about the the culture and all these things that happen, the army life, the military life is a very different culture, and it's a very nice one, it's a very simple one, but it is a very strong foundation. So when he used to speak about all these stories, and we would also watch a lot of movies, based on all these things. And then I had it in me that probably I should also, become an army officer, because the amount of respect you get, plus the kind of courage, the kind of dedication, the willpower, um, it and I really wanted to. But after a certain age, what happened is that I was physically very fit from a very, very young age. I have been physically very fit, very active into a lot of sports,
Right.
very athletic. So I joined the Scouts and Guides movement. I went up to Rashtrapati Guide. I could not complete it because then my board exams came forward and I had to give my exam. So I had to leave that out. So I represented my schools for many things into sports and academics also. Going forward, what I realized is my height didn't grow. So I could not participate in anything much of the defense forces, because you need a certain physical attribute. Okay, so I could not make it. I didn't grow after a certain age. I'm just 5'2", so I was disappointed, no doubt. But then I was given an option to, I could join the army, but not in field forces or any, not in the field services, but something else, clerical or something. But I was not interested in clerical. I wanted to serve the nation in a very different way. However, nonetheless, by the time I reached a certain age, after 15, 16, I started developing a lot of interest into science, a lot of interest into biology, into the human minds. And I was reading, by then I was reading a lot of different kinds of books, very curious about people's nature, people's personalities, people's behavior. And that is when I decided that, okay, I this is something that I have to pursue this further, because I have a keen knack for it and I have an interest for it. And even then, when I was, a teenager, I was talking with a lot of people older to me. And what I saw is that I could actually communicate with people regarding a lot of different issues and topics and things like that. So why not take this further down? So that is how I got the interest.
Here is the interesting question. When you have decided to, pursue that, you will go and pursue psychology yourself. Did you have
Right.
to face any negative criticism from your family members or maybe friend circle, that why you are doing this, why you are trying to, know about human brain, things like that? Did it happen with you?
No,
Negative.
my family has always been very supportive. My family has never pressurized me that I have to do this or I have to do this. Nothing as of such. The only thing my family has ever told me, that since I am stepping out into the world, it is very difficult to, make the right choices. But whatever choices you make, the first thing is you cannot and you should not regret. You know, because the moment regret comes in, there's a lot of guilt, there's a lot of grief, there's a lot of negative emotions that come in.
Absolutely.
Whatever you're going to choose, you need to stay strong with your choice. And because you need to stay strong with your choice, um, think about whatever you're doing, think about it multiple number of times. Don't make hasty decisions. So going forward, I tried to follow that all the time.
Really good. So, Devika, this show, as I have already told you, this show is all about passion, right? So it
Right,
says that you have truly followed your passion. Your passion was psychology, so you followed that. You went to the university, you got the degree, you worked
right,
with it, right? You worked with governments also, and now you are here today as a life transformation coach. And viewers
right.
can see you. You are a mother of 11-year-old boy.
Yes,
So how today's we live in a very difficult situation because of COVID, and also so much of pressure, anxiety, stress on people. So they always forget this part of about themselves. Like they
Correct.
forget to exercise. I mean, they say that they forget to exercise, but I believe that these all are excuses, because if you cannot give 40 minutes, 45 minutes to your day, then you are wasting your life, because our life is
Absolutely.
a body of temple, isn't it? So,
Right.
Devika, how you keep yourself fit? First, tell our viewers what is your daily routine, and then how you can make difference to other people's lives. What they need to do in order to remain calm at the same time fit, and whatever they want to do achieve in their life.
Okay. So there you asked me two questions. So let me start with my routine. So my daily routine is very simple routine that I follow. And I like to keep it simple so that I can do everything in that 24 hours of that time space that we have. So every single day I try to do the maximum I can. And mostly I do, I do reach up to my goals. So I start my day off by waking up by say 8:39. That is like the maximum that I normally sleep. Uh, During COVID, yes, it was a different stage altogether because I was ill and I was recovering. So I had to sleep about 14, 15 hours, sometimes 17 hours. But normally 7 to 8 hours I sleep no matter what. I go to sleep by 1:30, and by 9 I'm up. The first thing I do when I wake up is I put on my headphones and I sit down to meditate. That is something because I believe, and it is proven science as well, that when you wake up, your brain is the most freshest in the morning. When you wake up, immediately when you wake up, your brain is ready to take in a lot of fresh information. So whatever we feed into our brains at that point of time in the morning when you wake up remains fresh throughout the day. So I actually choose meditation no matter what. So I play either, I activate or I cleanse my chakras. So there are certain musics and frequencies available on YouTube also. So I put on those and I start it off. Once that is over, I do my yoga because I believe movement in the body is very, very necessary to get all the organs started up. So you have to wake your organs up, right? As you wake up, you need to wake your organs up. So when your brain is activated, your brain is fresh after meditation, then the rest of the body needs to be done. So I do my yoga. In the sun, I do it because I need a lot of space to do it and I need fresh air. So I do my yoga. And once that is done, that takes about, so the meditation and the yoga takes about 1 hour. And after that, I make myself a cup of herbal tea. Before that, after the yoga is completed, I drink a huge glass of water, which is about 500 ml of water, which I gulp down immediately. What happens is that all your organs wake up. You feel so fresh. This is personally, I do this. I don't know how many really do that and how many would have that effect, but it does have a huge effect on me. After that, I drink a huge mug of herbal tea, which is made of very simple basic ingredients, which is mint, turmeric, green coffee, cinnamon, lemongrass, and these are all homegrown. So I grow all these herbs at my in my balcony, in my backyard, and I have used them. And once I drink that, and I make sure that I drink my coffee or my tea or this concoction in the sun, because sunlight, I have always believed from a very young age, it has been driven into my subconscious mind that it is medicine. The sun heals everything. So when we were young kids, you must have seen newborn babies were taken out in the sun. They were put out in the sun, so their grandmoms would take the babies in the sun, rub them with oil, mustard oil and all. Earlier days they would do that. And they would put them out in the sun because bones are absorbing a lot of vitamin D. I mean, that is a natural, I mean, the most natural form of vitamin D you can get.
Right.
The
Sorry to
practice, the
interrupt. Do you still recommend people to go in sun in this condition, because right now we are experiencing summer in India? So
right.
do you recommend people to how what time they should go, or if they need to go at all in this situation?
See, right now because it's summer. The sun rises very early in the morning. By 5, you could see the sun up and very bright. In summer, since your body is already in a condition where it's hot and humid, um, 10 to 15 minutes is maximum. So even if somebody wakes up at 8:39, don't really have to wake up at 4 o'clock and 5 o'clock. Although they say that the healthiest sun is available then, you don't really have to wake up then. You need rest. If you sleep at 10 o'clock to wake up at 5 o'clock, then it is fine. But complete the cycle of 7 hours a minimum. And then whenever you wake up, try to step out in the sun for about 10-15 minutes. Take a glass of water, drink a glass of water in the sun, or if you want to water your plants, anything. But let the sun fall on your head, your head, on your spinal cord, on your hands, on your legs. Let your skin absorb the rays. Just 10-15 minutes. For people who are very conscious about, oh my god, I'll get sun tanned and all these things, if you want, put on a little sunscreen. That is not a problem at all. But do get sunlight. It is very important. Even these days, people don't get sunlight, and most of them suffer from a lot of hormonal issues because of the lack of all these natural things. People have really stopped going natural. um, Sunlight, one of the most important things that you can start with of your day. um, coming back to again my routine. um, Once I'm done with that, then by the time breakfast is being prepared, or I'm getting ready for the breakfast and everything, I clean up the house, because it is very important to clean up your house before anything else starts. So sweeping, swabbing. Then one thing that I do is that after sweeping and swabbing the house, I put on my laptop and I listen to a lot of Om mantras to cleanse and purify my house. It is very
Powerful.
spiritual. So
Yeah.
I'm a person who's a very spiritual person in nature. So I cleanse. So I burn a lot of incense in the morning and evening. So it purifies the air. Everything around you feels very, very nice. The energy flowing is very nice there. So I do this for the entire thing, and then I start with making the food, breakfast. Then I prepare my son for his online classes, because right now, since the lockdown is on, schools are closed, so online classes go on. I get him ready for his online classes and all. So that goes on for about 2 to 4 hours, depending on what he's doing. um, After that, then of course, I get on to my own activities, which is throughout the day, the number of sessions that I have scheduled. So I get nothing less than about 7 to 8 phone calls in a day, depending on various schedule, where certain people call in for consultation, certain people book in for program details, certain people call in for different programs that they have signed up, one-on-one sessions, group sessions. I conduct a lot of group sessions on Zoom as well, where empowering women, making them to recognize their own strengths, talking about their issues and problems, and trying to come up with solutions that could help them as well in their lives. So a lot of these things keep me engaged. Plus, there is business development, because, of course, because when you're running a business, when you're an entrepreneur, and you have a goal to reach out to people, and you want to do things like this, business development is something. Then I speak to a lot of entrepreneurs on LinkedIn, on sites, social sites like Facebook and Instagram also. So throughout the day, I'm very engaged. Then after everything is done, I make it a point that I do not take any more calls after 8 o'clock in the evening. Um, so after 8 o'clock in the evening, I switch to exercises then, because throughout the day when I'm engaged, after 8 o'clock, what I do is that, since it's a lockdown now, I cannot go to the gym. Else, gym is a whole package where you do everything. So because I cannot go to the gym, what I do is that I go for a run. So I go jogging for about say 10,000 steps a day, which is more or less about, say, 7 to 8 kilometers that I run. um, and then I come back and I do a lot of freehand exercises, like very easy exercises like push-ups, squats, lunges. These are exercises that don't really need weights and things like that. These are very free movement, very good. I do a lot of ab exercises to keep my stomach muscles engaged and strong, so that I don't have digestion issues, things like that. But I make sure to exercise every single day, at least 5 times in a week. I do that. Saturday and Sunday, I give myself rest because your body also needs to recover. So Saturdays and Sundays, I give myself rest. But I exercise no matter what. There is movement. You have to have movement in your body. Excuse is something I don't give, and I don't even like to hear. When you have problems, I always believe that look for solutions. Don't bring out more problems. There are problems. Everybody has problems. But I kind of focus on finding out those loopholes where I can, throw in a solution. Uh, so when people say that, okay, I cannot because I've got a busy schedule, everybody has a busy schedule. You actually choose, and when you make yourself a priority, which you should, you should be number one priority for yourself, then comes anything else. You tend to make time for yourself. So I have always done that. I've made myself priority because if I am fit, if I am healthy, if I have a healthy mind, and if I have a healthy body, that is only when I can serve anybody else. I can help anyone else because I have to have the
Right.
of it to help and suggest
Right.
anyone else.
Yeah, so you have talked about women's health, and you have hit the right spot, because I was also thinking to ask you about this question, that many of our mothers, wives, girlfriends, they face the problem. So many problems are there, like menstrual problems, then PCOD and all that stuff. But they
Right.
go under a lot of stress, anxiety as well. But I've seen people, they don't, say to their loved ones, and they keep suppressing the thing for many many years, and then it happens to cancer or things like that. So
Mm.
how one should deal with it if somebody is watching who has their mother or wives in their house, how one should look after, or things they need to do, like it could be tests, it could be any yoga, or it could be any medication, how they should approach if they see some kind of symptoms or mood swings, things like that. How what is your suggestion to those people? Because in India, how things happens, especially in the rural areas. I
Yes.
was reading an article where they're saying that 70% of the women in the rural areas, they reuse the same pad for their cycle. So it's very pathetic. What message you want to tell to our audience, how they should take care?
See, Sandeep, we live in a country where we have women from different backgrounds, from different cultures, from different religions, from different, uh, their societies. Um, it varies, actually. It varies, and it all boils down and comes down to just two things. One is awareness, and the other is communication.
Okay.
Um, Most of the people now are more or less aware about these situations, okay, more or less. Even
Mhm.
people who work as freelancers, NGO workers, corporates, even certain corporates, they reach out. Now they have started reaching out to women in rural areas and as well, trying to educate them about women's reproductive health and the issues that come with it. um, the thing over here is that the initiative that everybody is taking, it
Yeah, yeah,
it
please
it
go on. Yeah.
comes down, it comes down to a place where we have to bring in a lot of communication into this. Now, women, if you're talking about rural areas, women don't speak over there. Their upbringing is a very different thing. So upbringing plays
Right.
a very important role, a very very important role. Now,
Okay.
talking about our household, our mothers, what we can do when we're seeing, probably if our mothers or sisters or women of our household, they have a certain problem. I would urge women in the house, or even if you don't have women, if even if men are seeing this, I would urge them, if they cannot talk to their mothers or sisters or wives or girlfriends, take them to a doctor. Please take them to a doctor.
Right.
Take them to a professional, because it is very important for them to know that taking care of themselves is very important. Women's
Mhm.
skin and hair is not the only concern, but there is so much. So reproductive health, yes, it goes for all households. You need to communicate, and women who are seeing this, who tend to not say, and they tend to hide and all these things, if they are also in a situation where they
Some kind of fear also, I have seen cases. Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
in
please
that
go on. Yeah.
in that case also, I would suggest, please go to the nearest doctor, the nearest hospital, or a professional who is a medical professional. Speak to the person. I have always had this one thing there, which I enforce even in my program: speak, communicate. Unless you talk, unless you communicate, unless you express, nobody is going to understand the problem. And unless people understand the root of the problem, they cannot come out with a solution. And that is why, even in my programs, I encourage people to communicate. The difference between any other program and my program is, I don't do only motivation, I don't only motivate others. My work starts from listening to them. I have to listen to them in order to bring out a solution, a plan, a goal, or to analyze. I need to listen to them, and they need to communicate. For that, we need to build, a rapport, a trust. So this only happens when there is an equal one is to one conversation, where you speak out, you bring out, and that is how things are built. It has to happen in every single aspect of your life. You need to talk, you need to communicate. And that is why coaching plays a huge role in this, a huge role. When I talk to women also, when they come across, and I encourage them that you talk, you communicate. If you cannot talk to me, tell me who you want to talk to, tell me where you're comfortable. Let me arrange, let me think about a solution where we can bring you to be comfortable for you to communicate.
Right. Great, great. Also, Devika, I would like to point out here that there are so many people who are watching, mostly girls, who wants to be
Right,
entrepreneurs. They see you in this kind of medium, they get inspired by you, and that's the total, obviously the mission of our channel also, to bring people who can make the difference in their lives. So, what advice you would like to give to those young, entrepreneurs who are starting? Because I
mm,
know I myself is an entrepreneur, so I know how it sometimes it become very tough, and you feel like that giving up, but all of a sudden you have this faith deep down inside that why you started, and at least you have came so many miles by your own. So what message you want to give to all those budding young students or entrepreneurs who wants to start their business, start their career in something of their own, if they have any kind of design creativity, something, how they should approach themselves, because the world outside is a tough mean world, right?
right,
So
right.
how they should approach their career as an entrepreneur?
I wouldn't say anything much. I would just tell them to just a few things. First of all, if you want to start, don't wait for the right time. Just start. Just start. There will be ups, there will be downs. I personally know that when I started off, and there are phases that come, in entrepreneurship, where things will really work very good, and things might not even work. Again, things will work, again it will not work. But that is how life is. It's a roller coaster. It will go up, it will come down, it will go up, it will come down. It is never like a flat line, because a flat line basically means you're over, you're dead. So life cannot be a flat line. um, Whenever you have it in your mind and you are feeling very strong about whatever you want to do, go for it. Don't think of who will say what will people think. Nothing of all that. The externals should not affect your judgment. That is what I would want to tell them. Don't wait for the right time. Okay, I will do this when the right time comes. No, the right time is now. When you've thought of it, start it immediately. Start doing research, start doing studies, start doing surveys, pick up on all whatever you can. Second thing that I would like to tell them: when you start, it is very easy to lose focus. Don't lose focus. Wake up every single day in the morning with that in your mind that you have a child to nurture. That project is your child and you have to nurture. Like every morning you wake up, you give water to your plants, you feed your dog, you take care of your children, women who have children, you take care of your family. That is something you do by default. The same goes for your dreams. The same goes for your project. Don't lose focus. Focus. It will happen, because I have always seen this success is something that will only come after a certain period, and that period will be judged by few things, which is discipline, consistency, willpower. These three things, these three mantras, I have followed throughout my life, no matter whatever I have done, whether I'm working, I'm doing a job, I'm doing a call center job, I'm anywhere else, taking care of my kid, studying myself, doing whatever activity. These three things I've always followed. Discipline is something that I have grown up with. It is inside, it's like blood running through my veins. I'm somebody who's also a very organized human. I cannot see disorganized things around me. So it is all a part, and it will happen if you are very strong about the project that you want to do, or as an entrepreneur, whatever you want to do. I would suggest you follow these three things and don't give up. Please don't lose focus, and just do it. Whatever comes after that, the rest of it, the consequences that follow, you will take care of the situation as it comes, and that is how life is. Nobody is well prepared for whatever. You think about what could happen, and you mentally prepare yourself that, okay, if this could happen, I can handle it this way. However, when situations really come forward, you try your best. That is the max what we could do.
Great. You have summed it up really well. And you said that just do it, that Nike says, just do it. And I've heard
Right.
a quote, famous quote, which says that make a decision and then make it right. So
Right.
we can absolutely resonate with your experience. And
Right.
almost half an hour we have covered about your journey. So now comes the most interesting part, the mind part, because I'm really fascinated about this, how our mind works. And I am also learning this psychology. I'm pursuing a course, online course, because I'm very
Okay.
motivated by this power of our subconscious mind. So
Right.
before that, I would like to share one experience with you. Have you seen the movie Shahenshah of Amitabh Bachchan?
It's a very old movie, but I don't remember
Yeah,
much, but I watched the movie,
yeah.
especially
So
the
I was
light.
reading. Right, right. So I was reading this article where the director Tinu Anand was seeing Amitabh Bachchan sitting on a hot sun and wearing
Right.
that 15-20 kg of suit that he used to wear because of the
Yes.
shooting. So one day
Yes.
the director Tinu Anand came to Amitabh Bachchan and said to him that Mr. Bachchan, why you are sitting outside your vanity van in this scorching heat sun? And he simply replied that I have my shot, so I have to go for it. And Mr. Director said that no, the shot is there, half an hour is still there, but why you are sitting? Don't you feel sweating and hot? So one word which Amitji said, and Tino Anand then told in the interview. Amitji said when Tino Anand asked him that, don't you feel a heat? Amitji said, I am not thinking about it. So that
Yes.
is the power of our mind. I mean, I am also lately trying this method, and it's a miracle. I mean, I don't know other people will believe it or not, but you can relate with it. I'm doing this thing and I'm getting results.
Very
So
true.
since you're a specialist, you have done your masters on it, and you are into this coaching for so many years. I would like to know your thoughts on it, the power of our mind, and what is psychology and how our mind controls us and the universe. If you can tell our viewers.
Um, yes, it's true that I am in the profession of the mind. Um, However, I have always thought that the mind is a very, very uh, you hold the entire universe inside this small little plate.
Complicated, yeah.
It it's actually not complicated. I wouldn't use the word complicated, but I would use the word vast, because to penetrate into one's mind, and to get so deep into that mind, to understand what is that mind all about, is still a mystery. There are scientists who still study the mind and still get amazing results, and are still wondering what more the mind could do, because from whatever we've studied, the brain just looks like an organ, but understand and imagine the kind of power that little organ holds, that unlocks and unleashes so much. And this entire world, this entire universe is actually moving around and working, and the kind of progress that we've made is all because of human minds, you know and this is something that, and that's why I had always said that this is why I had been very curious to know, because that the heart pumps blood and your kidney filters and all these organs, but the mind, it is something that it's endless, and no matter how much of studies and research you do, it is still never enough. It is still never enough. People still keep unlocking new things. I recently read another article on the placebo effect. So these days, certain pharmaceutical companies gave out medications to these group of individuals, saying that these are medicines, but actually they were nothing. They were not medicines at all. Now they took those medicines, saying that yes, they're feeling good and they've improved, and they can feel the effect. Whereas when the studies came to conclude, they were then later on, they were told that those capsules had nothing in them. They were just sugar, and that was not medicine. So understand the power of your mind. If you think you're sick, you are sick, and if you think you're not sick, you're actually not sick. Your body is doing what it has to do. And honestly, I heard so much of news around me with COVID and people with this second strain. So I had the second strain, and the second strain was even worse than the first strain. And there was so much of panic and anxiety around me with this thing. And I had a small child at home, and I was very worried that I don't transfer, this virus to him and things like that. But deep down my head, I had fever on the first day, and I literally trained my mind that, okay, I have a disease. I have to fight it. My body has to fight it. Now my brain has to tell me that. My brain has to command the rest of my body to do its work. I work out, I eat clean. Why? So that I could build a strong immunity to fight disease. And honestly, throughout COVID, I did not take any medicine apart from just one pill, that is paracetamol 650. I just taken it for one day because I had 104 degrees fever. And the next day, I remember I had very swollen, my tonsils swell up. And I just had only one medicine that I was taking continuously, that was lemon juice. Because I knew that vitamin C was the only thing that could keep this virus under control. And I had full faith in my immunity that, okay, my body will do whatever it has to do, but my mind has to control that. If I'm going to sit back thinking that, okay, I'm sick, I am never going to recover. And it is the power of your mind that actually plays a huge role in every single decision making in your life. And once you choose that, and you stick strong to that, you'll see everything will just flow, everything will just work out wonderfully, and it will just fall into place. You will not even have to work hard or throw in any effort. um, it will just smoothly work out. Every single thing will just be very, very smooth. So it all needs a lot of practice, controlling your mind, staying calm in situations, thinking the right way. These are certain things that you do. The mind, yeah.
Right. So it's a very, vast topic. If we can talk about it, we might not able to end the show in a year or so. But definitely, someday maybe we can have you once again. We'll definitely want to explore more about this power of our mind. But
Right,
I have some other questions also. A few people have sent me a few questions. So
right.
the question that one person sent me, uh, which is what is the importance of natural healing? And I mean, how one can go for natural healing? I mean, in today's time, you can see that so many allopaths and things are people, because people they want instant, result. And
Right.
if somebody has any critical illness, they think that Ayurveda or the natural medicine we call it, it cannot cure it. So what is your take on it, and how one should approach towards the natural? Because we all came from the nature, and we one day will all go into the nature, right? So how important is it to be with nature and to help people with nature?
Okay. First things first, when you're saying natural, um, anybody who wants fast results, it's not going to happen. For anything good to see, good to happen, you need to wait. And having that patience plays a huge role. Whether you're waiting for your plant to bloom flowers, for a plant to bloom flowers, or for it to give fruit, you need to wait. So you give it water, you give it sunlight, you give it compost, you give it food and everything, and you need to wait. You need to wait for years for that. It just doesn't happen overnight. It is the same with our system, our body. Now, when you go for different kinds of treatment, allopathy is the first. Why? Because it gives you an instant relief, right? It gives you an instant cure. Because certain so when uh, people get sick, the pain that they have, to get them a little relief from that, the pain, that instant pain, we give them this medicine. So allopathy is number one choice because it gives you an instant relief or something like that immediately. You see fast results. Now you cannot expect fast results from natural treatments, from either homeopathy or Ayurveda or herbal or anything as of such. It does not work overnight. It does not work as fast as allopathy does, and you need a lot of you need to wait, you need to have patience, and you have to believe that it will work. you know by just taking it for a month, saying that, oh, I can't see any results, it's not going to work like that. Everybody has got a very different system. Everybody has got a very different immune system. Their organs work differently. Their body responds to medication differently. The metabolism rate is different. So individuals will face and see results also differently. For some people, it will work faster. For some people, it will work slower. Also, you need to know that when you're getting into natural healing, it is not only with medicines. You cannot just take medicines and expect. You have to follow a good, clean diet. You have to try to consume as much less as you can, as less as you can, processed food and junk food, because they don't really work very well with natural healing. You need to exercise and move every single day because blood circulation requires exercise. And for all of these things, you need to have it in you that, okay, yes, it will work. I need to do my part and I need to do it consistently. It's not that one week you exercise and you made a good clean diet, and after a month, after a week, you are like, okay, no, I did it 1 week and now it's not working, so let me get back to that. No, you cannot do that. You need to do this regularly for as long as you can, and then you see this becomes like, a consistent habit, which then you would start seeing results. I myself am somebody who believes in Ayurveda. I have fought a lot of diseases with the help of Ayurveda. It is because I had a very strong system, and it didn't happen in a day's time. It happened in about 10, 11 years of time. Um, to what you see me now, it didn't come overnight. It's happened with a lot of practice, with a lot of waiting, a lot of sick nights, a lot over there. So you have to wait. Allopathy, yes, instant relief, which will give you, but to cure you holistically, right from the root, uh, that's lab made medication. I would suggest you go for the lab made medication. That is not a problem. Of course, go to a doctor, consult a doctor. But if you're thinking about holistic treatment as well, look into other natural options as well, because the kind of stressful lives that we have every single day, these days, the kind of stress that we endure, it's very important that we take care of ourselves, because when we work we don't realize that just for the sake of eating lunch we grab a sandwich, a burger, or things, fast food and easy food like that. When
Yeah.
you're craving for something, you just pick up something and eat
Pick up
just
and
to
grab
fill
it.
your, yeah, just to fill
That's
your
what.
stomach.
Yeah, that's what I was about to ask you. That you see people who are working in the corporates. I myself did the same thing. You can also relate to it, because the life is very fast over there, and you get hardly half an hour break, and you have to munch something quickly and go back to work. So in the evening, especially in the evening, so many people can relate. They have this craving for something like sweet or something like that, and they think that they will eat clean and things like that, and suddenly they eat something like a samosa or anything, and their diet is gone for a toss. So what
Yes,
they should do in that time, in the evening, especially if they want to continue clean eating, what food they should eat and how they should control themselves not eating junk or things like that.
right. So, what I do, Sandeep, is that when I'm traveling, in my bag, I like to keep few things. Number one is fruits. I always have certain fruits in my bag, either a banana or an apple, or I have a dabba. So, in that dabba, I have either grapes or dry fruits, granola, muesli, things like this. In my bag, you'll also find a bottle, a jar of either almond milk or soy milk. It's always there in my bag. In my bag, you'd also find I normally don't eat gluten and lactose because I'm lactose and gluten intolerant. I'm also vegan, so I like to stick to very clean food because it makes me feel very nice, to be honest. And when I have these sweet cravings, I have these mango sweets that are there. So very natural, made with jaggery and things like that. So I have certain things like this. Now again, this also, it's become a habit now, because now I don't have any more cravings, because after years of practicing clean eating and good eating and everything, uh, it's just become a habit now. And I remember, I am somebody who always eats a very stomach full breakfast. Breakfast is the most important meal of my day. I eat a very heavy, very good breakfast. If I start telling you my breakfast, people will be like, okay, wow, that's really a very good voluptuous breakfast that I eat. But yes, my breakfast consists of a very balanced meal of protein, carbs, fruits, fiber, everything in it. So for lunch, what I do is that I have a very Indian formula of lunch is sattu. I carry the sattu powder in my shaker, in my bottle, and I take that. So I know water is available anywhere. So I just mix sattu with rock salt and cold water, and that is lunch for me. So I take about 100 grams. So 100 grams of sattu in 300 ml of water is actually a balanced meal. So if I'm not being able to eat good food anywhere outside and I have very limited options, I stick to this. And then after sattu, of course, in the evenings when I start getting these cravings, I either have fruits or else I have bhutta. You get bhutta, on the road when it's season time. That is a very healthy option, and I like eating that a lot. So when there's a craving as of such, again, I train my mind as to what are you craving for and why is that thing happening. Let us replace. So your mind plays a very strong role in even decision making for all these things also. So fruit is one of the best choices. You can even have protein bars that you get these days. Protein bars are very easy to carry. They're very healthy. They're very nutritious. You have even chips these days. You can have banana chips, and options are plenty. It all boils down to the choices that you make. It all boils down to what you want to. If you want to, believe me, there is nothing stronger than your mind. Train your mind, get your mind, to follow what you say. Uh, at the end of the day, it is all up to you. It is your choice. The consequences are something that you have to face after your choices.
Right, absolutely, and that's the price people pay. Even I've paid the price. So, sugar. One thing I want to share here: sugar is something, chemical sugar, we should not
Yes.
consume. I can see that people are telling, they are saying that you should consume something which is natural, like jaggery, or maybe sugar cane, something like
Yeah,
honey.
I personally consume stevia. So I've been consuming stevia since about, I think I quit sugar back in 2009. At completely, I quit sugar in 2009. Else, I was somebody who used to live on sugar, literally, like a lot of sugar. But I quit it in 2009, and one of the best things that I've seen after quitting sugar is your skin really, uh, you know you have a drastic transformation in skin. So you don't really need to do much about it after that. When sugar is out of the system, artificial sugar, um, your skin really glows. There's very good elasticity of the skin. There is a natural glow, and you feel very nice. It doesn't really affect your system, and it is a very healthy option actually to quit sugar.
Devika, you just said that you have gone for vegan, right? So I was watching a video yesterday where they are talking about natural sugar, and they say that you cannot take honey also,
Yes.
because honey is coming from the bee, and that's why you cannot take the dairy also, because the dairy comes from
Yes,
the cow.
correct.
So
Correct.
do you follow the same thing, or
Yes, I am. Since I was diagnosed lactose intolerant in the year 2018, so I stopped consuming milk completely there. In 2019, when I decided that okay, I want to go plant based and I don't want to consume any more animal products, I made it a point that nothing. So I stopped everything. No more dairy. So I started consuming almond milk, oats milk, soy milk. These are Soy milk is something that I've been drinking throughout years because something is that is very convenient for me.
do
So
you recommend coconut milk as well?
Yes, absolutely. Now, the kind of brands that you have in the market, you have a variety of these brands. So, any plant-based milk, of course, the calcium is something that will be a little compromised because dairy has calcium in it, and the rest of the plant milk does not have very high content of calcium. But there are always calcium supplements in the market. Visit your doctor. Your doctor will recommend you the best calcium that you can have. Um, so when you're having calcium supplements, I don't think that should be a problem. But after I switched to become from a hardcore non-veg eater to a complete plant-based eater, um, the difference that I saw in my health was amazing. The first thing that I saw was I felt so light. I started getting, previously I used to get sick very often, and after I switched to the diet, and when I completely, adapted to it, I hardly got sick. I always felt very light. My mood really changed. I'm always a very happy, joyful person. Stress really did not bother me because I kind of controlled and managed stress very well. I slept very well at night because I did not have any more digestion issues. I was somebody who suffered from irritable bowel syndrome and a lot of digestion issues. My stomach healed, to be very honest. So I not only became and followed this plant-based diet, but I also stopped eating gluten. Bread, maida, atta, and all these things also. And I started consuming gluten-free, atta and all these things that are there in the market. It drastically changed my system. All my organs started healing automatically. So yes, it's a drastic change for me, and I felt it because I am from a Bengali household where uh, my family eats non-vegetarian food every single day, and I am the one who cooks my food separately, and I don't consume any of this. So even honey, I don't consume. I use stevia. Stevia is basically uh, tulsi patta and all these things. Dried tulsi patta. I use stevia, and the rest of the food I am so used to now eating it without sugar that it does not really, make a difference anymore.
Right, right. So, as you said that the lack of calcium can lead to some, bone-related health issues.
Yes.
So, there's a product available in the market which is whey protein. So, so many people consume it. Do you recommend this kind of product which comes in powder form? It's good for the health, or one should go
I
totally natural? Yeah.
No, so whey protein or any kind of protein, these are all processed, right? Now the kind of lifestyle that we have, it is not, uh, you know, uh, possible for us to, sit at home and count the amount of protein that we are consuming from only food. So, because I also work out, I take a plant-based protein drink. Okay, I am consuming something which is completely made out of plants, because since I don't take whey protein and all these things. Um, but different people have different requirements. For people who are working out in the gym and bodybuilding and are into fitness and maintenance and things like that, for them, whey protein does a lot for them, because obviously protein is something that is our building block. Okay. um, Everything about us is a lot of protein. So protein is the building block of our system. So if we don't consume enough of protein, what happens is that we start getting sick, our body starts breaking down, we start losing muscles, we start losing energy, then a lot of things keep following up. So yes, protein-based, the processed foods that are there in the market right now in the form of whey protein, plant protein, they're absolutely safe to consume. You only have to see the brand that you're consuming and the kind of licenses that they have acquired from the government and where they're sourcing their protein from. You have to just be careful about these things and obviously read the reviews, ask more people about it. You can even ask your doctor, because doctors also know a lot of good protein brands that are there that are safe for you. Before you even start consuming protein, make sure you go to a doctor, visit them, and they might ask you to do a simple head to toe blood test, to check all the levels, blood levels, the creatine levels, your liver function test, and all these things, just to make sure. I would always suggest, do not self diagnose. Do not consume anything on your own just because you have read it somewhere or someone said to you. Take a second opinion, take a professional's help, ask your trainer, visit a professional doctor, a medical practitioner. It's always a very safe option to do that.
Right, right. So, Devika, almost we are end of the at the show, but the way you are
Right,
speaking, I think viewers are getting so much benefited by your knowledge. But the last question I would like to ask you before we finish this podcast is,
right,
right now we are going through some unprecedented, difficult times we never seen before. So,
right,
so many people lost their lives, so many people lost their loved ones. Situation is
right,
not very, relaxing, because
right.
I know yourself also, you are also battling something which is very, very, difficult sometimes, because your family
Right.
members or your relatives, and I have seen my closed ones also. So how one should, keep themselves calm, relax, not think. It's definitely that will come to your mind some point of time. It's not like uh, मुझको भूलना है, तो जितना बार आप कोशिश करोगे भूलने की, वो आपके दिमाग में आता जाएगा. तो क्या
Right.
करे आज, मतलब किसी को अगर कुछ उससे निकलना है, मेडिटेशन आपने बताया, मेडिटेशन, और आपने बताया योगा कर सकते हैं हम लोग, लेकिन
Yes.
इसके अलावा और क्या एक इंडिविजुअल जिसके ऊपर दबाव है बहुत, फैमिली का प्रेशर हो सकता है, जॉब का प्रेशर हो सकता है, उसके बाद कोविड को संभालने का जो प्रेशर है, उसको अगर कोई इंसान है, कोई भी हो सकता है किसी भी एज का, कैसे उसको अप्रोच करना चाहिए और कैसे इस सिचुएशन से निकलने के लिए डील करना चाहिए? आप अगर
See,
हिंदी
I
में बताएं तो अच्छा होगा, क्योंकि बहुत सारे हमारे साथ हिंदी भाषी, हाँ, दर्शक भी
okay.
देख रहे हैं, तो क्या.
Um, तो बात ऐसा है कि कोविड का सिचुएशन बहुत स्ट्रेसफुल है, फॉर श्योर. मुझे खुद पता है, बिकॉज लास्ट ईयर से मैंने अपना खुद का वेंचर वगैरह स्टार्ट किया ही था जब ये पूरा कोविड का चीज आ गया, एंड बहुत सारी चीजें, बहुत सारे प्लान्स पूरा खत्म हो गया। यू नो उसका कोई बैकअप भी नहीं था, कोई ऑप्शन भी नहीं था, बहुत सारे बिजनेसेस भी नहीं रहे, बहुत चीजें हुई ये पूरे 1 साल में। बट इसमें मैंने पर्सनली क्या किया था कि धैर्य बना के रखा। बिकॉज इसमें आपको एक चीज समझना है, ये एक ऐसा सिचुएशन है जहां पे आप फिजिकली कुछ ज्यादा नहीं कर सकते हैं। बिकॉज हमारे आसपास भी बहुत रिस्ट्रिक्शंस है। रिस्ट्रिक्शंस को मद्देनजर रखते हुए अपने घर के अंदर हम लोग ने बहुत चीजें अडेप्ट किए, बहुत चीजें हम लोगों ने कॉम्प्रोमाइज किया, सैक्रिफाइस किया। स्पेशली वर्क फ्रॉम होम बहुत डिफिकल्ट हो जाता है अगर घर पे आपके बच्चे हो, पूरा जॉइंट फैमिली हो, बहुत डिफिकल्ट, बहुत चीजें ये हो जाता है। तो बहुत स्ट्रेसफुल हो जाता है इन्वायरमेंट, क्योंकि एक काम का एक एक इशू आ जाता है, फैमिली का एक प्रेशर आ जाता है। उस पूरे इन्वायरमेंट के साथ में बैठ के आप जब काम करने बैठते हो या जब आप सोचते हो, तो नेचुरल है कि आप अपना मानसिक संतुलन थोड़ा थोड़ा बिगड़ जाता है, वो सेम नहीं रहता है। मेरा खुद का हुआ हुआ है, इट्स पर्सनली हुआ है, जहाँ पे आप ये भी सोचते हैं कि ये कभी खत्म भी होगा, फिर क्या करे क्या नहीं करे, बहुत चीजें हैं माइंड। इसी टाइम पे, यही टाइम पे अपने माइंड को कंट्रोल में रखना है। दो चीजें हैं। एक तो यू कैन नॉट लेट योर इमोशंस ओवरटेक यू। आपको अपने इमोशंस पे कंट्रोल रखना होगा। बहुत ओवरवेलमिंग है, बहुत रोना भी आता है, बहुत गुस्सा भी आता है, स्पेशली आप जब एक ऐसे सिचुएशन में हो जहां पे यू आर द हेड ऑफ द फैमिली एंड आप कुछ नहीं कर पा रहे हो। बहुत गुस्सा आता है, बहुत फ्रस्ट्रेटिंग होता है। बट वही पर ही हमारे फैमिली भी है, तो आपको ये भी देखना है कि फैमिली है, एक सपोर्ट है, साथ में है। इस टाइम को कैसे पॉजिटिवली यूज किया जाए। देर आर ऑलवेज मोर देन वन एंगल टू अ सिचुएशन। हमेशा हम क्या करते हैं, एक एंगल से सोचते हैं और उस एक एंगल पे ही सबसे ज्यादा फोकस करते हैं, और वो सबसे ज्यादा नेगेटिव फोकस ही होता है। हमें अपने माइंड को ऐसा बनाना होगा कि हम एक एंगल नहीं, जब बाकी 359 एंगल्स भी जो है, देर आर 360 डिग्री, 360 एंगल्स, 359 एंगल्स भी अपने देखें। और सारे एंगल्स को देखने के बाद वंस यू गेट इनटू द प्रैक्टिस, आप प्रैक्टिस को कीजिए कि सारे एंगल्स आप देखिए। आप अकेले फ्रस्ट्रेटेड नहीं है। आपकी मम्मी पहले जो खाना बनाती थी, कोविड हो या ना हो, आज भी वो खाना बनाती है, घर का काम
एकदम।
देखती है। इनफैक्ट डबल द अमाउंट ऑफ वर्क, क्योंकि सब कोई अभी ऑफिस नहीं जाते, सब कोई अभी घर पे है। तो वो भी स्ट्रेस्ड है, पर वो कंप्लेन नहीं करती है।
They don't show actually. Yeah.
एक्चुअली स्पीकिंग, तो उनका रिजिलियंस आप सोचिए, उनका धैर्य शक्ति आप सोचिए। उन्होंने तो कोई कोई भी ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन लाइफ कोच नहीं है, उनका उनका ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है। दे डोंट हैव एनी सपोर्ट एज ऑफ सच। तो हमारी मदर्स जो है घर की, वो हमारी सबसे बड़ी स्ट्रेंथ है एंड हमारी सबसे बड़ी एग्जाम्पल है कि कैसे अपने आप पे धैर्य रख के आगे मूव ऑन करना है। फाइनेंशियल बर्डन्स भी आ जाते हैं, बिकॉज बहुत सारे, एज आई सेड, बहुत सारे बिजनेसेस भी बंद हुए हैं। इसमें बहुत लोगों ने अपने जॉब्स भी लूज किया है, वो भी बहुत बड़ा एक इशू है। ये पूरे टाइम पे जॉब अगर आप नहीं मिलता है, देन आई वुड सजेस्ट कि आपका जो स्किल्स है उसको वाया द मीडियम, वाया सोशल मीडियम पे आप उसको बाहर लेके आइए। एंड जब बाहर लेके आते हैं, रीच आउट कि मुझे ये आता है, आई वॉन्ट टू रीच आउट टू अदर पीपल। यू नीड टू रीच आउट एंड कम्युनिकेट। आपको नहीं पता कब कहा क्या लक क्लिक कर जाए, क्या कहा क्या अपॉर्चुनिटी क्लिक कर जाए। नॉट लक, आई वुड नॉट से लक, आई वुड से अपॉर्चुनिटी। मैं लक में पर्सनली बिलीव नहीं करती हूँ, बिकॉज आई ऑलवेज बिलीव यू नीड टू रियली बी वेरी सिंसियर एंड वेरी हार्ड वर्किंग, तभी चीजें क्लिक करेगी आपके लिए। अपॉर्चुनिटीज बहुत आएंगी आपके पास, आपको चुनना है कि आपके लिए कौन सा सही अपॉर्चुनिटी है। तो ये पूरे टाइम पे ये बहुत स्ट्रेसफुल एनवायरनमेंट है। अपने आप पे कंट्रोल रखना, बाकी सब चीजों को मैनेज करना, ये सारा सब कुछ सब आप पे ही आता है वंस अगेन। तो again there are always two options, either you do it, either you don't do it. तो अब ये दो ऑप्शन में हमेशा नॉट डू इट वाला ऑप्शन हमेशा ही रहता है, बट वाई वो ऑप्शन लेना ही क्यों है? लेट्स ट्राई इट, ट्राई तो कर ही सकते हैं, राइट? उसमें तो कोई कोई हार्म नहीं है, देयर इज नथिंग टू लूज, तो ट्राई करते हैं। एक और बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट आ जाता है कम्युनिटी। आपका आसपास आपका कम्युनिटी का भी बहुत बड़ा रोल है टू कीप यू encouraged, कीप यू मोटिवेटेड। तो आप कम्युनिटी में भी थोड़ा खुल मिलिए, टॉक टू योर नेबर्स, क्या है क्या नहीं है, क्या कर सकते हैं। सिर्फ क्या चल रहा है आसपास इसके बारे में बात करने से कोई सोल्यूशन नहीं निकलता है। न्यूज सुनते हैं, न्यूज डिस्कस करते हैं, सिर्फ इश्यूज ही निकलता है, सोल्यूशंस कोई नहीं बात करते। तो टॉक, आप अपने नेबर से बात कीजिए कि क्या कर सकते हैं एज अ नेबरहुड। आप ऐसे एक ड्राइव कर सकते हैं जहाँ पे वीकली करके संडेज के दिन पे सबको आप इकट्ठा कर सकते हैं, मेंटेनिंग सेफ डिस्टेंस। या जूम कॉल्स कर सकते हैं, सबके घर पे तो आजकल फोन्स है ही। जूम कॉल के थ्रू पे संडेस को एक कुछ आप इवेंट कीजिए जहाँ पे सब बात करें। देयर इज अ लॉट ऑफ इवेंट्स एंड एक्टिविटीज जहाँ पे आप खुद कर सकते हो, जहाँ पे अपने आप को, अपने माइंड को आप एंगेज रख सकते हो। तो there are a lot of things like that you can do, but definitely it is a very difficult stage, and कब खत्म होगा नहीं होगा इसके ऊपर ना फोकस करके प्रेजेंट सिचुएशन में हम क्या कर सकते हैं उस पर ज्यादा फोकस करें तो इट्स गोइंग टू बी बेनिफिशियल फॉर अस।
एब्सोल्युटली देविका, जैसे कि आपने बताया और एकदम सही बात है, बहुत सारे लोगों ने जॉब खोया है। लास्ट ईयर भी देखे तो 14 करोड़, और इस साल अभी तक 12.5 करोड़ सारा भारत में। और हम लोग तहे दिल से आपका स्वागत कर शुक्रगुजार है कि आप आई और इतना सारा इन्फॉर्मेशन आपने शेयर किया। आपके बिजी शेड्यूल से आपने टाइम निकाला। लेकिन एक क्वेश्चन जो कि मेरे एक स्टूडेंट ने भेजा है, ये उसने बोला है पूछने के लिए और नाम डिस्क्लोज नहीं करने के लिए बोला है, तो मैं पूछूंगा आखिरी सवाल आपसे कि पीपल फेस पॉलिटिक्स, लॉट ऑफ पॉलिटिक्स इन देयर ऑफिस, and the thing is that not only office, if you're doing business also or any kind of job you're doing, then also these things happen, backstabbing or things like that happen. So asked me this question specially. उसने बोला है मैम से पूछने के लिए how she or anybody can approach if there's a politics or backstabbing and things like that. How should one approach?
अप्रोच
Yeah.
हु?
मतलब कैसे उससे बाहर आए और कैसे उससे निकले? हाँ, माइंड को।
सी
हाँ, एकदम।
कॉर्पोरेट डिप्लोमेसी, इसको कॉर्पोरेट डिप्लोमेसी हम लोग बोलते हैं। हम लोग इसको पॉलिटिक्स ज्यादा यूज नहीं करते हैं, बिकॉज पॉलिटिक्स का मतलब होता है पॉलिसीज इन मेकिंग। कॉर्पोरेट डिप्लोमेसी हम इसको बोलते हैं, विच इज अक्रॉस वर्ल्ड वाइड। ये एक बहुत कॉमन फिनोमिना है। कॉमन फिनोमिना है बोल के व्हाट हैपेंस इज दैट देयर इज अ लॉट ऑफ कंपटीशन। कॉर्पोरेट वर्ल्ड में घुसने का मतलब ही होता है यू आर एंटरिंग अ वर्ल्ड ऑफ कंपटीशन। वहां पे स्टैग्नेशन का कोई जगह नहीं है। तो आपको ऑल द टाइम परफॉर्म करना होता है, आपको ऑल द टाइम अपना बेस्ट दे देना होता है, आपको ऑल द टाइम प्रोडक्टिव रहना होता है। तो व्हेन यू फेस दीज चैलेंजेस, ऑब्वियसली आपके कॉम्पिटिटर्स भी बहुत है, बिकॉज आप अगर सिलेक्ट होते हो एक कॉर्पोरेट में तो सर्टेन स्किल्स के लिए सिलेक्ट होते हो। आपके स्किल्स हमेशा आप याद रखिएगा दूसरों से यूनिक है। दूसरे लोग जो होते हैं व्हेन दे सी दोज यूनिक स्किल्स, सर्टेन पीपल उनका माइंडसेट है कि वो जेलस हो जाते हैं, एनवियस हो जाते हैं, एंड इंस्टेड ऑफ इनकरेजिंग कि हाँ भाई ये तो बहुत अच्छी चीजें हैं, चलिए हम कुछ सीखते हैं इससे, सबका वो लर्निंग का वो क्यूरियस माइंड नहीं है। तो ये वीक लोग हैं, ये बहुत एक वीक माइंडसेट है कि चलिए हम इनकरेज तो नहीं कर सकते, तो चलिए कंपटीशन को ही हटाते हैं। तो सबसे इजी चीज जो होता है इस रूमर्स, स्टोरीज एंड ये सारी बातें करना। बातें करना इज वन ऑफ द मोस्ट कॉमन थिंग्स जो एक वीक इंसान कर सकता है। ओके ये तभी होता है जब वो इंसान इनसिक्योरिटी से भरा हुआ है। जो खुद अपने से इतना इनसिक्योर रहता है वो ही ये चीजें करता है, जो नेगेटिव एनर्जीज फैलाता है, नेगेटिविटी फैलाता है ऑफिस और एक कॉर्पोरेट एनवायरनमेंट। जो बहुत कॉन्फिडेंट है कि मेरा स्किल्स ऑलरेडी बहुत अच्छा है, आई एम सिलेक्टेड, सिलेक्टेड का मतलब ही होता है कि 100 में से मुझे सिलेक्ट किया, 1000 में से मुझे सिलेक्ट किया, तो यू हैव टू बी कॉन्फिडेंट विद इन योर सेल्फ ओनली, नंबर वन। सेकेंड, आपको अपने अंदर वो इनसिक्योरिटी लाना ही नहीं है कि आप नंबर सेकंड नंबर पे हैं, क्योंकि आप यूनिक है, आपके जैसे एक्चुअली दुनिया में और कोई नहीं है। यू नीड टू नो दैट। एंड जब आप ये चीज अपने दिमाग में बिठा लेते हो कि आपके स्किल्स यूनिक है और आप खुद एक यूनिक इंसान हो, तो यहाँ पे तो कंपटीशन ही नहीं है। सिंपल बात है, मुझे अपना काम करना है, मुझे अपना परफॉर्मेंस ठीक रखना है, बाकी आसपास क्या करता है मुझे नहीं उसके साथ कंपैरिजन करना है। सो वंस यू स्टार्ट फोकसिंग ऑन योर सेल्फ, बाकी ऑफिस पॉलिटिक्स या कॉर्पोरेट डिप्लोमेसी के लिए एकदम भी टाइम नहीं मिलता है। सो यू डोंट इन्वॉल्व इन इट एंड यू डोंट इवन एंगेज इन इट। तो आप अगर इन्वॉल्व और एंगेज ही नहीं होंगे तो बाहर निकलने का कुछ और है ही नहीं। आप जब उस साइकिल में ही, आप सर्किल में ही आप जब नहीं घुसे तो नहीं। बट हाँ, इसका ये मतलब नहीं कि आप कभी सोशल नहीं होंगे, सबसे बात कीजिए, हाय हेलो कैसा सब है, और अपना एक बहुत अपना एनर्जी, अपना गुड एनर्जी, द द द पॉजिटिव एनर्जी सब में स्प्रेड कीजिए। नेगेटिव एनर्जी बहुत
वाइब,
जल्दी है।
पॉजिटिव
Spread
वाइब्स,
your
या
energy. Yeah, spread your good vibes कि you are not interested in that, you are confident। क्या पता आपका कॉन्फिडेंस देख के आपका बाजू वाला इंस्पायर हो जाए, you know and he gets motivated after seeing you कि how you handle all these things।
बहुत ही बढ़िया तरीके से आपने जवाब दिया देविका। और इसी बात पे मुझे एक और फेमस वुमेन एंटरप्रेन्योर की याद आ गई, इंदिरा नुई जी, जो कि पेप्सिको की सीईओ थी। तो उनको पूछा गया था कि हाउ यू डील विद ऑफिस पॉलिटिक्स, तो उन्होंने कहा था कि यू शुड अवेयर अबाउट इट बट डोंट डू इट। तो इसी का
राइट,
रीजन है कि वो जहां पर भी है आज, शी इज नॉट द सीईओ ऑफ पेप्सिको, बट टुडे शी इज द बोर्ड मेंबर ऑफ Amazon, which is the largest e-commerce in the world. तो इसी के साथ
राइट,
हम लोग को ये शो यहाँ पर खत्म करना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि मुझे पता है आप बहुत बिजी हैं, फिर भी आपने टाइम निकाला हमारे चैनल के लिए। सो इसके लिए तहे दिल से हम लोग शुक्रगुजार है आपका। और मैं सभी को बताना चाहता हूँ कि देविका एक ट्रांसफॉर्मर लाइव ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन कोच है। तो मैं देविका का जो सोशल हैंडल्स कुछ भी फेसबुक है, यूट्यूब और इंस्टाग्राम, उसका लिंक मैं अपने चैनल में दे दूंगा। नंबर मैं नहीं प्रोवाइड करूंगा क्योंकि पता है देविका क्या होता है। तो मैं लिंक दे दूंगा तो कि पीपल आपको मैसेज कर पाए। कोई भी आपसे कनेक्ट करना चाहता है, दे कैन डेफिनेटली मैसेज इन, एंड आप मैसेज
यस,
करोगे तो आपको रिप्लाई जल्दी आ जाएगा। तो इसी के साथ देविका हम लोग यहाँ पर ये पॉडकास्ट समाप्त करेंगे। इससे पहले और कुछ मैसेज आप देना चाहते हो हमारे जो नौजवान जो देख रहे हैं, मोस्टली स्टूडेंट देख रहे हैं ये पॉडकास्ट, और कुछ अभी जो सब तो घर में ही है, तो घर में सब कोई देख रहे हैं परिवार के साथ, तो क्या एक मैसेज आप देना चाहते हो? हम लोग फिनिश करेंगे ऑलमोस्ट शो। लास्ट वन, एनी वर्ड्स फ्रॉम यू?
यंग पीपल के लिए मैसेज तो मैं ज्यादा कुछ नहीं देना चाहती हूँ। आई वुड जस्ट से कि ये जो वक्त है, यूटिलाइज दिस टाइम वेरी नाइसली, वेरी केयरफुली, बहुत प्रोडक्टिव वक्त है ये, इसको वेस्ट मत कीजिए। ट्राई टू नो वर्क ऑन योर सेल्फ, ट्राई टू डेवलप योर सेल्फ, बिकॉज इस टाइम पे सबसे बेस्ट चीज जो आप कर सकते हो वो पर्सनल डेवलपमेंट है। सो आई वुड इनकरेज ऑल द यूथ आउट द यंग इंडिविजुअल्स जो भी है, जो देख रहे हैं, अपने ऊपर काम कीजिए। आप अपने सबसे पहले एंड सबसे बेस्ट प्रोजेक्ट हो। You are your own project, you're the best project that you could ever have। अपने ऊपर काम कीजिए, ब्रश अप योर स्किल्स, आइडेंटिफाई योर स्किल्स, इसको और स्ट्रॉन्ग कीजिए, न्यू टेक्नोलॉजी सीखिए, न्यू लैंग्वेजेस सीखिए, ट्राई टू कनेक्ट एंड रीच आउट टू अदर एंटरप्रेन्योर्स, उनसे मोटिवेट होइए। देखिए कि ट्रेंड्स क्या है अभी, फॉलो द ट्रेंड्स। there's so much to do right now, और of course अभी 12th के एग्जाम्स कैंसिल हो गए हैं, but that doesn't mean that you stop there। आप अपना टाइम भी इंजॉय कीजिए, बट उसके साथ साथ बहुत कुछ है करने को, आप वो भी कीजिए, सो दैट यू नो कि आपका ये जो टाइम है ये वापस अब नहीं आने वाला है। सो मेक द बेस्ट यूज ऑफ दिस टाइम, दैट इज ऑल आई वुड वांट टू से।
Thank you so much, Devika. Thank you for coming. And this podcast has just went the way we wanted to go it, and it so much knowledge
So,
we received from your end, so much wisdom. So definitely,
thank
if
you so much.
everything wells in this year, we might do another podcast 2.0 this year if possible. Whenever you are free, I know you are very busy. You are very busy, but we will
Right.
definitely look forward to you coming again in the show. And then we would like to talk about more about the mental health issues and things like that,
Yes,
because वो एक अलग सा
surely.
जगत है, बहुत ही बड़ा है उसको. अगर हम लोग करने जाएंगे 1 घंटे के अंदर, that's not possible, isn't it?
Right,
Not
that is not
possible. So
possible at all. And I would like to thank you, and I would like to thank all the viewers who have been seeing me with
they
them
are
and their
sending
families.
love reactions now.
Thank you, thank you so much. I would need blessings. I would need love. I would need a lot of support from all the youth, the young individuals, people who are actually watching this. So, to help me to reach out to more, to spread out the message. Support बहुत important है अभी, and thank you so much for all the well wishes that have been giving.
Thank you so much, Devika, and
Thank you.
stay safe, stay blessed, and spread the positivity that you always spread. And hope to see
Absolutely.
you soon, very soon, in this passion podcast here. Thank you for coming.
You too. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much
Bye.
again. Take
Bye. Bye.
care, everyone. Bye.
Bye. Bye.